Hi teacher, my name is Luis Pablo Morales Cruz and I decided to develop a checkers game. So why did I pick this challenge? Because I think that min-max algorithm is tricky algorithm to understand, but is an easy algorithm to implement. Um, because I like games and I wanted to explore something that we don't see in class. Something about the game. The game is a board game. There are many variations of the game, but the basic rule that all these variations share is that one player token can be jumped over the other player's token, and when this happens, that token is removed from the board, and the player who wins is the player that have more pieces on the board, and the one who loses is the one that doesn't have any tokens on the board. The algorithm is a recursive algorithm, and for me to understand it, I consider min and max as two players. The main idea for min-max algorithm is to pick the best next move against your best move. Um, Max wants to minimize the win, and Min wants to minimize the utility for Max. I will explain it with this tree. I could use game tree for all checkers, but it's too much to explain. So I will use this little tree, which represents two moves, one with Max and one with Min. And of course we have our final states. How do I pass this to the code? Well, I use these three little lines here, which represent what to do if you're on a certain state. So if the state is a terminal state, we return the utility. If the state is played by max, we want to return the max value of all possible moves, which are these guys, during this state. And if the player is min, which are the green triangles, we want to return the minimum min-max result of all that possible moves. So min-max, which does is to calculate these utility values, but at the beginning we don't have that utility values. We only give utility values to these final states. So for example, we are initiate here on max, and we say the state of max is a terminal, no. So we go to the next line. If the player is max, yes. We want to calculate, as I say, the maximum result or the maximum min-max utility value for these states with all these possible moves. So we go with B. Then if this is a terminal state, no. The player is max, no. The player is min, yes. So I want to return the minimum value of all possible moves during this state. So I go with B1 move. I say this is a terminal move, yes. I return the utility which have the value of 4. And I store it on a buffer. Then I go here and I say this is a terminal state, yes. I return the utility value which is 15 for this triangle. And then I go to B3 and I have well, this is a terminal state, and I return the utility of the value which is 9. So I return with this line here, and I return the minimum value for all these possible moves, which is 4. Then I have to calculate the value for for, oh, well, assuming that A plays A2. So I go with C. C is a terminal value, no. Player is max, no. Player is min, yes. So now I have to check all the possible moves. So I go with C1, C2, and C3. And all of these are terminal states, so I return the value of 3, 5, and 7. And of course this is a min state, so I return the minimum value for these utilities. So the one that I store is the value of 3. Then I have to go with A3 movement. The state D is a terminal state, no. The player on this state is max, no. The player of this state is min, yes. So I have to find the minimum value of all these possible moves. So I go with this guy, and this other guy. So I return the values of 20, 4, and 3 because these are all terminal states. So the minimum of these 3 values is 3, so I start the value of 3. Now I have to go up because at the beginning I wanted to get the maximum value of all these moves. So now I get the 4, I get the 3, and I get another 3. And of course the maximum value of all these guys is 4, so now I got a value of 4. So now I know what move is the best in order to respond to players' best move, assuming that both are playing optimally. A little bit of discussion. Min-max is a depth-first exploration. The depth D with M legal moves can be calculated with M elevated to D, which is a lot, at least in the case of checkers. The space complexity on memory, we can calculate it by multiplying M and D. And of course, min-max algorithm is impractical for most games, but this set the base for other algorithms. Can we use min-max for more than 2 players? Yes, we can use min-max for games with more than two players. And how do we do this? We use utility vectors instead of single values. As you can see, I am setting utility values for 3 players. It's calculated the same as I already explained it. How did I make it? I use C++ language and the text editor Sublime Text. That's all. Thanks for your time.